Imagine a quiet room, no crowd, no music, just a calm, confident voice speaking directly to your mind. That voice belonged to Earl Nightingale, a man who didn't shout, didn't hype, didn't beg people to believe him. He simply spoke the truth, and people changed. Earl Nightingale was not born rich. He was not born powerful. He was born ordinary, just like most people listening today. But what made him different was one realization, a realization so powerful that it changed millions of lives. He said, "We become what we think about, not what we wish, not what we hope, but what we consistently think about." This single sentence shook the world of personal development. At a time when people blamed governments, bosses, luck, and circumstances, Earl Nightingale stood up and calmly said, "The problem is not outside. The problem is inside your mind." And that message hit hard. Earl Nightingale grew up during hard times. The Great Depression shaped his early years. People around him were afraid. They were surviving, not living. He noticed something strange. Two people could live in the same city, same economy, same conditions, yet one would succeed and the other would fail. Why? It wasn't intelligence. It wasn't luck. It wasn't education. It was thinking. He observed that successful people thought differently. They didn't wait for motivation. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for the right time. They decided. And once they decided, they programmed their minds in that direction. That's when Earl Nightingale realized something dangerous. Most people never control their thoughts. They let society do it. They let fear do it. They let past failures do it. And then they wonder why life never changes. Earl called this the invisible prison, a prison with no bars, no guards, no locks, yet millions are trapped inside it. This prison is built with thoughts like, "I'm not good enough. I'll start someday. It's too late for me. I don't have talent. I was born unlucky." Earl Nightingale warned, "Your mind will believe anything you tell it, and once it believes it, it will act accordingly." This means something terrifying. If you keep telling yourself you are weak, your life will prove you right. If you keep telling yourself you are poor, your actions will support that belief. If you keep telling yourself success is for others, you will unconsciously avoid it, not because you can't succeed, but because your mind was never trained to allow it. In 1956, Earl Nightingale released a short audio recording called "The Strangest Secret." No fancy marketing, no background music, just truth. That recording became the first spoken word audio to go gold. Why? Because it said what no one dared to say. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack direction. People drift through life. They wake up, they work, they sleep, they repeat. No clear goal, no clear vision, no clear purpose. Earl Nightingale said, "A man who has no goal is like a ship without a rudder, and such a ship doesn't reach a destination. It crashes." According to Earl Nightingale, success begins with one thing, a clearly defined goal, not a wish, not a dream, a decision. He believed that when you write down a goal, something magical happens. Your mind starts searching for ways to achieve it. Your focus sharpens, your actions align, your confidence grows. But without a goal, your mind becomes a playground for fear, doubt, and distraction. Earl Nightingale warned, "If you don't plant a seed in your mind, weeds will grow there automatically. And those weeds are fear, laziness, excuses." What made Earl Nightingale dangerous wasn't his voice volume. It was his clarity. He didn't motivate people with emotion. He motivated them with understanding. He didn't say, "You can do it." He said, "Here's how your mind works." And once people understood that, they never saw life the same way again. This was not hype. This was mental awakening. And this was only the beginning. Because next, Earl Nightingale revealed how to reprogram the mind, how habits are formed, and how a person can completely rewrite their destiny. But that part of the story comes next. Imagine a world where no one shouts at you to succeed. No loud music, no fake hype, no empty promises, just a calm voice, speaking truth so clearly that it penetrates your mind and changes the way you see life forever. That voice belonged to Earl Nightingale. He didn't motivate people with excitement. He motivated them with understanding, and that made him dangerous. Because once a person understands the truth, they never go back to sleep. Earl Nightingale believed something simple, yet powerful enough to reshape destiny. We become what we think about, not what we want, not what we hope, but what we consistently think about. This idea alone separated the successful from the unsuccessful, and Earl made it his life's mission to wake people up to this reality. Earl Nightingale grew up watching people struggle, hardworking people, honest people, yet most of them stayed stuck their entire lives. Same city, same economy, same opportunities, but different results. Some rose, most didn't. Earl asked a question most people never ask. Why? Why does one person succeed while another with equal ability fails? The answer shocked him. It wasn't talent. It wasn't luck. It wasn't education. It was thinking. Most people, Earl realized, never think intentionally. They let society think for them. They let fear think for them. They let the past think for them. And then they wonder why life never changes. In 1956, Earl Nightingale released a short audio recording called "The Strangest Secret." No background music, no sound effects, just truth. That recording became the first spoken word audio in history to go gold. Why? Because it revealed something shocking. Most people fail in life, not because they lack ability, but because they lack direction. People drift. They wake up, they work, they eat, they sleep, they repeat. No goal, no vision, no purpose. Earl said, a man without a goal is like a ship without a rudder, and such a ship doesn't reach a destination. It crashes. According to Earl Nightingale, success begins the moment you decide what you want, not wish. Decide. A goal written down does something extraordinary to the mind. It gives direction. It creates focus. It filters distractions. When your goal is clear, your mind starts working for you. But when you have no goal, your mind becomes a playground for fear and excuses. Earl warned, if you don't plant a seed in your mind, weeds will grow automatically. Those weeds are doubt, laziness, procrastination. Earl Nightingale explained that the mind works like soil. It doesn't care what you plant, positive or negative, fear or faith, it will grow it. If you think about failure, you move toward failure. If you think about success, you move toward success. Not magically, but behaviorally. Your thoughts shape your actions. Your actions shape your habits. Your habits shape your destiny. This is not motivation. This is mechanics. The invisible prison. Earl called negative thinking the invisible prison. No bars, no guards. Yet millions are trapped. I'm not smart enough. I'm too old. I missed my chance. Earl said something terrifying. Your mind will believe anything you tell it, and once it believes it, it will act accordingly. That means your biggest enemy is not the world. It's the story you keep telling yourself. Earl taught that success is not a single action. It's a habit. People don't fail overnight. They drift there. They don't succeed overnight. They build there. Daily thoughts, daily actions, daily discipline. He said, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Progressive, step by step, day by day. Earl Nightingale didn't scream. He didn't threaten. He didn't entertain. He explained. An explanation creates belief. Belief creates action. That's why people listened. That's why people changed. He treated adults like thinking beings, not emotional children, and that respect made his words powerful. One of Earl's strongest messages was responsibility. He said, you are where you are because of the choices you made, not your parents, not your boss, not the government. This truth hurts, but it frees, because once responsibility is yours, so is the power to change. Earl advised people to read daily, write goals daily, feed the mind positive input, guard thoughts fiercely, because the mind is always listening. Earl Nightingale passed away in 1989, but his voice never died. Every time someone chooses discipline over comfort, focus over distraction, belief over fear, Earl lives on. His message was never about money. It was about mastery. Mastery of thought, mastery of direction, mastery of self. If there is one truth Earl Nightingale left us with, it is this. Change your thoughts, and you change your life. Not someday, not magically, but starting now, because you become what you think about.